Hi everyone, it's Narina here. Thought I'd give you a bit of an update. It's been 3 weeks since I had the operation. I went back to work this week, so just after Easter. The first day was a little bit hard. I still felt really tired, but I'm sort of back into it now. So basically where I'm at now is I have finished with the pureed food. That couldn't come soon enough. I was so sick of it by the end. Because unfortunately when you sort of bar mix the food to make it puree, it does change that texture and it's just really hard to eat, but you know, it's a necessary evil and it had to be done because the stomach is still so swelled and healing. So now I have just started the soft diet. So basically with the soft diet, I have to do that for 2 weeks, so weeks 4 and 5 post-surgery. So basically the types of foods that they're telling me I can eat have to be easily digestible, can be chewed but not necessarily bitten, and it says requires minimal cutting and can easily be broken up with a fork. So they're saying in this, with the soft food, your priorities are things like meat, fish, poultry, eggs, basically protein. Milk, yogurt, cheese, again protein, and legumes, which come under the protein as well. The other things like vegetables, fruit, cereals, rice and pasta are low priority, so it's those other foods that you have to get into you first. So some examples that they've given of what you can sort of have in the soft foods is minced meat or casseroles with small pieces or tender meat, things like moist fish or eggs scrambled or poached, or soft tofu, low-fat yogurt and milk, low-fat soft cheese, example ricotta and cottage, and with the legumes, well-cooked soft legumes, tinned legumes, lentils, beans, baked beans. And then in the vegetables, obviously the vegetables have to be really well cooked. You can't have things like fibrous stringy vegetables like corn and broccoli stalks and things like that. Fruit, you know, things like banana, mashing it up, stewed fruit, porridge, plain breakfast cereals in low-fat milk, and well-cooked pasta or rice with low-fat sauce. But it says if you're going to have that, you always have to have some protein with it. So that's, I'm a lot more excited about that type of food than I was with the pureed food. I've only been having it for two days now. But some of the other examples of what you can have, say for example in a menu, would be say a wheat bix or a sachet of instant oats. With the main courses, some samples here are fish in white sauce, minced meat or chicken and tomato sauce, tender meat casseroles or stews, soft omelette, fish pie, cottage pie. It even says lasagna or cannelloni and cottage cheese, mashed potato, sweet potato, carrot, broccoli, cauliflower, and even puddings, low-calorie yogurt, mousse, fromage or custard. So it sounds a lot more appetizing than what I was sort of having before. So how have I felt up to now, these 3, or basically the last sort of couple of weeks since the surgery? One of the main things that I have found, pain is fine. I've had no issues with that whatsoever. Constipation, which then can turn to diarrhea in the next day, has been a big issue. So, you know, I might not be able to go to the toilet for 3-4 days, then suddenly go, and then the next day diarrhea. I asked the specialist about this and he said that it is actually very normal. But what I have been doing is just making sure that I keep up with the Benefiber every day, and also, you know, we're just not getting enough food for us to go regularly, so that's why the Benefiber is so important, so I'm sticking to that. Nausea, I've only had that probably 3 or 4 times, not so much after I've just eaten. It seems to be just random times, so I don't know why that's happening, but you know, it is part of it, I believe. So, but it's not enough that it's bothering me, you know, too much. with hunger, I was unsure of how that was going to feel. Like, I thought, you know, am I just not going to feel any hunger at all, or what's it going to be like? I'm actually at the moment eating 4 to 5 little meals a day, whereas later on we're only going to be going on to 3. I do sort of get a little bit hungry, nowhere near what I used to feel before, but I do know when it's time that I have to have something to eat, because I sort of feel a little bit, you know, low energy as well. So that kind of reminds me. But I do still feel a little bit of hunger. So I was a little bit surprised by that, but apparently you can feel a little bit of hunger anyway, but that soon gets filled up when you have your little bit of food anyway. One of the things that the specialist said to me is that for now, until the healing process happens, it is, you know, 4 to 5 small meals a day. But once I go on to the normal food, he was very strict, and he said you only have 3 meals a day. He said snacking, no snacking. He said because that is what gets us into trouble. Us, by that I mean overweight. That's what gets us into trouble in the first place. So he was very insistent that once we go on to the normal food, that it is going to be 3 meals a day, and that's it. So that's going to be interesting once I get to that. Water. I am still struggling with getting the amount of fluid that we're supposed to have every day. I, you know, can only cope with little sips. So it's a matter of at work, you know, I've got the bottle on the table and I try and sip as much as I can. I have decaffeinated green tea, things like that, or put lemon cordial into the water. So I'm trying to do different things to try and get that liquid in, but also because of the fact that you have to stop drinking half an hour before you eat and not drink half an hour after you eat. That makes it difficult as well, because if you're eating 4 or 5 meals a day, it's just trying to balance all of that, and by the end of the day I suddenly think, oh, I haven't had enough water. So that is still a struggle for me. I've been told that I have to really give it a good effort, because if I get dehydrated it's not good, and that is a common thing that can happen. So as I said, I did meet with the specialist, so that was just a couple of days ago. He was happy with the operation and the progress so far. I have lost 12 kilos up to now, but that includes the food that you have to have before the operation. So all up, that would be 6 weeks in total. He's happy with that so far. And I sort of asked him the question, because I wasn't actually really sure what the expectation is, how much, you know, does he expect that I should lose. And he sort of gave me the blanket answer for most people that have this type of surgery, and he's saying if you follow the surgery guidelines, that the percentage, because they work on percentages, is a 70% expectation of weight loss of the excess weight that you have to lose. Most of that apparently you lose in the first 12 months, which they call the honeymoon period, but mostly up to 2 years after surgery. Now, again, stressing that he said that you have to follow the surgery guidelines, which brings me into the visit that I had with the dietitian, who had given me that information that I just spoke to you about, the soft diet. So basically I'll be seeing the specialist, the dietitian, and also a psychologist over the next 3 years. So where I go, CEOS at Ashfield Hospital, they've actually given me like a whole lot of dates and things for the next 36 months. So there's all different things that you have to do. The actual psychologist you don't normally see again. That is your choice to do that. I have actually chosen to go ahead and see the psychologist continually. The reason that I'm doing that is because the underlying reasons why I was sort of overeating in the first place haven't really been addressed. So, you know, there's always the danger that you still eat crap food and all that, so you can actually put weight on or not lose enough weight, which would be devastating after going to such lengths to have an operation that's so, you know, it's pretty, you know, severe, this operation, to cut half your, you know, most of your stomach off. So I want to make sure that I'm doing everything right. I've got all the support that I need if I need it, and when I feel that I don't need to see the psychologist anymore, I'll stop. But for now, I feel that it would be beneficial for me to continue doing that. Medications that I'm still on, so I'm still taking the Nexium. Apparently there's probably only about a month's worth there, so I'll probably be finished that soon. But once I stop, if I do get reflux, then I have to tell my doctor and probably get some more of the Nexium. But I have had no problems with the reflux up to now. I touched on this in another video. This is the vitamins now that I have to take, basically for the rest of my life. So I got some Nutri-Chew, sorry, and I got these off a site, bandbuddies.com.au, and they're chewable. They really don't taste very pleasant, but you know, something we have to take. But down the track I can actually just change to Centrum or something like that, but for now I want to make sure that they are bariatric surgery ones, so that's why I'm sticking to these. I also have to take calcium, so the dietitian has told me these are the best ones to take. So Citracal, calcium citrate. I got these on pharmacyonline.com.au. I found that to be the cheapest place. So I haven't actually started taking these yet, but I will start taking these as from tomorrow. I also, for a while now, have been taking vitamin D3, but every time I have a blood test, even though I've been taking these for so long and I take 3,000 milligrams a day, I still have very low vitamin D. So the dietitian suggested that I change to this instead, which is vitamin K2 plus D3. Now she says that by doing it this way, the absorption is better. So I'm actually going to start these tomorrow and see how I go with that. But I've been told that these 3 vitamins are vitamins that I will have to take pretty much for life. So I've started doing that now. I also wanted to tell you something that my dietitian told me about, and it's an app, and it's called Eat Slower app. So if you go into your Play Store and have a look for that, so EATSLOWERAPP, one of the things that I definitely have been doing is you know, measuring my food, making sure it's not more than half a cup, and also timing. So what I do with this app is it gives you intervals. So my interval is 1 minute. So I take a teaspoon of food, put that on, then at the end of a minute it's going to do a little chime and it tells me I can have the next teaspoon. I find that really, really helpful, because if you don't have some sort of timer, it actually, a minute just seems like forever, or you might pick up the spoon and eat too quickly. So I want to avoid any pain or anything like that. So that's why I'm sort of sticking to this, and it's working really, really well. I'm just holding it up until it goes so you can hear the little chime. So I found that really beneficial. I definitely find that if I eat any quicker, I do feel the food going down, and I can feel when it gets to the stomach, and I do actually get a lot of pain. So that's why I'm definitely sticking to eating over the 20 minutes at least. There's a little sound there. So now it goes and starts again at the 1 minute. So that's a really good handy app to have. So what I do find, however, is sometimes I can't even get through half a cup, and you do know when you've had enough. You either start to feel a little bit of pain or you just feel bloated. So I suggest that you don't eat any more than you should, because you will know about it. I had a pretty bad night one night just for drinking actually a little bit of extra Opticin shake, and I paid for it for a long time after. So try not to overeat, because you will pay for it. Well, that's all I need to really tell you about today. I'm happy with how things have gone so far. You know, I'm already only 12 kilos down, but already starting to feel so good, and people have already even noticed that. So I really look forward to, you know, what's going to happen in the future. I will sort of check in every now and then and let you know how things are going, or if I, you know, if anything changes, or if I find out anything really new or great, I'll let you know. But please, if you have any questions, I'm really happy to help. It's really good to have somebody that you can turn to that can help you. I know I needed that before I made the decision, and you know, leading up to the operation. So, you know, just let me know in the comments, and I'll come back to you as soon as I can. Thanks everyone. Good luck.